right, now throughout this video, y'all might hear Alana. That's what I've named my car. When I say certain words, she thinks that I'm trying to get her to help me, but I am not. So ignore the background noise. Hopefully she doesn't talk too much. But a lot of people don't fully understand the way the government is actually calculating your tax liability. So I want to make sure that we are all on the same page, because this is going to better assist you to determine exactly how much your employer should be deducting throughout the year. So your tax liability is calculated by first taking your adjusted gross income. So all that is essentially your salary and your wages. Now, there are some deductions that come directly from your AGI. We won't get into that, but essentially AGI is your salary and wages. Now, after your AGI is determined, then you take into consideration your deductions. Now, you can have a standardized deduction or you can have itemized deductions. This is where the last few years things have actually changed. So President Trump, back in 2017, he passed the 2017 Tax Reform Act. Now, this pretty drastically changed the way both individual and corporations calculate their taxes. So, amongst other things, Trump got rid of the standardized, or he actually increased the standardized deduction and essentially got rid of a few other itemized deductions. And so if you weren't aware of all of the changes that were made, that could be a reason why you are overpaying in taxes. So you start with your AGI, and then you either deduct your standardized deduction or your itemized, depending on which one is higher. And then you get down to your tax credits. So if you're a student, you're eligible for certain tax credits. If you have children, you're eligible for certain tax credits. There are several different tax credits just depending on your individual situation that you can take advantage of. So you start with AGI, deduct your either standardized or itemized deductions, deduct your tax credits, and then that number is what is actually used to calculate your tax liability. I think a lot of people believe that their tax liability is simply calculated on their salaries and wages, or your AGI, but you have to take in your deductions and your credits into consideration to understand what your tax liability is going to be. So once you determine, after deducting your standardized deductions and credits, how much income is actually going to be taxed, that amount is essentially ran through like a tiered waterfall. So I think, contrary to popular belief, whatever your highest percentage is on like the tax scale, that is not a gross number that your income is just applied to. So for example, if let's just say I earn $400,000 a year, the highest percentage right now is 37%. A lot of people think the entire $400,000 is going to be taxed at 37%, but that is not how it works. Essentially, the first, let's just say 10% is taxed at, 5%. The next $10,000 is taxed at, let's just say 10%. The next $20,000 is taxed at 15%, and so on and so forth. And so you're actually probably paying and owing a lot less than what you would think. So it's really important for you to understand exactly how your taxes are going to be calculated, so that you can then communicate to your employer, hey, I think I'm only going to owe X, so only deduct X. Honestly, I would rather be in a position where I owed a little bit of money than being in a position where I'm getting, thousands and thousands of dollars back in a refund. So hopefully this clarified the way our taxes are calculated. I know taxes can somewhat be a little bit confusing and mysterious, and we tend to be a little bit scared when it comes to, an IRS audit. But it's really important to first just understand the basics of how your taxes are calculated, so that, again, you can keep more money in your pockets throughout the year.